Welcome back into the Sean podcast. It's I, the Big Ush, and it's he, the Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy, let's get right into it. What's on your mind?
Man, week 10 continued what we've seen to be a wacky NFL season, and now week 11, nothing makes sense to me anymore. I don't know who's who. I don't know what's what. I don't know.
There's some things that, but I mean, we'll get into that. All right, jumping right in. Those New England Patriots went down to Atlanta, and I guess the Falcons decided to stay in bed.
Because, you know what? We suffered an embarrassing loss in the Super Bowl when we had a 25-point lead. So, in order to avoid blowing a 25-point lead in the fourth quarter, we know what to do.
Just not score
anything. Yeah. I mean, when this game was 13-0, New England was dominating Atlanta.
Now I get that they have issues, but I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be that guy today. The longer the season goes on, the more right I think I look. Matt Ryan looks like he's getting close to being completely washed, and the Falcons look like they should have jumped on looking for that successor either last year or maybe in this past draft. I'm not saying that Kyle Pitts isn't going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud. The dude's a fantastic athlete, and he looks like he puts in the work. But in terms of a team, you know what the most important spot is, and that other guy that I think they should have picked has looked promising, even though he got himself banged up. But he's looked promising on a bad team. That's just my thoughts there.
Yeah, as each week goes by and we see a more and more anemic Atlanta offense, some of that blame is placed on injuries and people not being present there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, as each week passes, it's making it more clear that maybe we should have spent a quarterback this year, last year, or maybe a couple of years ago, we should have flipped Matt Ryan for some draft picks, or right. I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Arthur Blank wouldn't have flipped him for draft picks.
But I mean, or even then have his outright walking papers to clear some cap space instead of doubling down on that contract, given that working it.
That was that's gonna be a move they regret. Fourth quarter, Matt Ryan throws 2 interceptions, gets taken out. In comes Josh Rosen. He throws an interception. He gets taken out. And then Felipe Franks is in there. He's like, you know what? Everybody else is throwing interceptions. Why don't I? And then he just throws an interception of his own. So Atlanta threw all 4 of their interceptions in the fourth quarter by 3 different quarterbacks, which I thought was a really impressive feat for all the wrong reasons.
But you get what I'm saying here. I mean, they might be looking at a different situation. Let's say they don't do that with Matt Ryan's contract and they let him walk. They draft, let's say, a Justin Fields instead of a Kyle Pitts. They keep a Julio Jones to take the pressure off of a Calvin Ridley. I'm not trying to speculate what's going on, but I got to believe if Julio's there, he's in a better mind space. I got to believe that. Maybe taking, instead of Kyle Pitts, a Pat Freiermuth in the second round.
But hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, but Atlanta. Somebody mentioned these types of moves before the draft.
That's true. But speaking of rookie quarterbacks, guess who looked pretty good on
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Absolutely.
But that's how you handle a rookie quarterback, unlike these other teams.
You mean solid defense, which Atlanta has not had for several years?
Good running game?
I mean, the running game for New England was almost unstoppable. You had Stevenson, Harris both going over 50 yards. They were both averaging well over 5 yards per carry. So you're thinking every 2 touches, you guys are getting a first down and moving down the field. But speaking of that defense, how dangerous did that New England defense look against Atlanta? And I know it was Atlanta.
It looked real good. But again, you're right. It was Atlanta.
Yep. Are there any surprises that the Patriots, I think, are the number 1 seed in the AFC?
I mean, Bill Belichick. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Now, you said surprises. Get into the surprises. Yeah, transition. The Indianapolis Colts traveled to upstate New York to put a beating on those Buffalo Bills. 41-15. You saw this coming, right, Sean?
I don't want to go back and listen to last week's episode, but I have a feeling I was picking Buffalo, which was a very, very foolish thing to do. I mean, this was an impressive win by Jonathan Taylor.
And the Colts defense.
And he didn't care if Buffalo was ranked number 1 in defense, 32 in defense. He didn't care where in the spectrum they were ranked. He treated the Bills defense the same way. It didn't matter.
Is Everflus, the Indianapolis defensive coordinator, you think he's going to get an NFL job next year?
He should be on the list. Yeah. His defense, they stepped up in a big way. They made life miserable for Jared Allen the whole game. And what hurt Buffalo a little bit more was their offensive line. I think they were still shuffling starters. They haven't had as much consistency on the offensive line as they've had last year, for example, and it showed.
Yeah.
It absolutely showed. They made life miserable. But if you go back and you watch this game, or you watch highlights of this game, you're going to see about 5 minutes of Jonathan Taylor. You're going to see about 30 seconds of the Colts defense. And that's about it. Without context, if I told you the Colts were 6-5, then you probably wouldn't be that impressed. But let's add a little context. They started the season 1-4, and over the last 6 games, they've gone 5-1. That's impressive.
But when you think of the Frank Reich Colts, this is kind of par for the course. Remember that first season, they started out real bad, and then they made the playoffs.
Yeah, so maybe my preseason pick of the Colts making the playoffs will end up being right.
Hey, there you go. Next up,
we got hope.
For one potential playoff team to another, the Baltimore Ravens went into Chicago without Lamar Jackson due to injury. Illness. Not COVID. Tyler Huntley started the game. Yeah, I'm saying Tyler Huntley. You don't know who he is, that's okay. Most other people don't either. Anyways, went through. Those Bears did Bear things. Got Justin Fields hurt. The Red Rifle came in, did a little bit, but that Bear defense couldn't stop the Ravens from having one more drive and beating the Bears. My only takeaway from this game is the same takeaway I've had from the Bears for the last 2 years. Matt Nagy's got to go.
Yeah, I agree. Not only was Baltimore missing Lamar Jackson, but Marquise Hollywood Brown wasn't playing as well, who is arguably their number 1 wide receiver.
I disagree, but that's okay.
I said arguably. And wide receiver. Justin Fields left the game third quarter with a rib injury. Mm-hmm. As you were saying, Andy Dalton came in. It seemed like he gave Bears offense life. Now that is a true statement. It looked like he did give them life. However, I want to dig a little bit deeper into this because I don't think Matt Nagy has been doing anything to aid Justin Fields this season. And game plan and offense entirely around him. So if Matt Nagy's keeping his offense the same, which is one that would be better for Andy Dalton, then yeah, Andy Dalton coming into this game is going to look good because.
But how much life did it really give the Bears? It took a spectacular play.
Yeah, that first touchdown was all Darnell Mooney. That was nothing to do with Andy Dalton.
Let's
Andy
be
Dalton
honest.
just hit Mooney on the screen, and then Mooney raced 60 yards. Then he hit Marquise Goodwin for, what, a 49-yard
prayer.
2 minutes?
It looked like a prayer.
He just ran. Goodwin just ran past this defender. There was no safety help. There was no help on top. And Andy Dalton just put it in the right place. So did he make a great throw? He got it where it needed to be. I'll say that.
Right. I'm just giving context. Now, no, Justin Fields, who knows? Remember the Pittsburgh game? He did make plays. I'm not trying to sit here and just poo-poo Andy Dalton, but we know what he is. And that's the thing. Andy Dalton can come in and do well with a team. He's just not a long-term starter anymore.
No. And I think Matt Nagy realized that because that touchdown to Goodwin gave the Bears a 4-point lead late in the fourth quarter. And then Matt Nagy realized, hey, I don't want Andy Dalton, who did not look better than Fields. I don't want him to be the hero. I need my defense to sandbag the Ravens' final possession. Well, it helps. They did sandbag the final possession. They didn't play very well. I mean, maybe it was a bold strategy to avoid any type of quarterback controversy, but you give up a defensive pass interference, allowing Baltimore to get to midfield. You forget that you need to cover Sammy Watkins. You forget that you needed to tackle Devontae Freeman as he's going from 3 yards out. Man. Matt Nagy has to go. The fans were chanting "Fire Nagy," and I can't disagree with them.
I'm hearing he might not make it through the week. Anyways, moving on to another NFC North, AFC North matchup. The Detroit Lions went into Cleveland, gave the Browns all they could handle. But guess what? The Browns win, the Lions lose. Same old story for the Lions from the beginning of time.
The Browns fans, I'm pretty sure they were booing Baker Mayfield because he played like garbage. He admitted it himself, so I don't feel so bad saying that. But he played like garbage. The fans realize it. He realizes it. He walked off the field when his team was celebrating. When he was asked about it the following day, he said, "My guys know all I care about is winning. But I'm going to be frustrated if I do stuff that makes it harder on us," and I did yesterday. So, keeping it PG-13, he played like crap. There is no reason that the Browns should have beaten a Tim Boyle-led Lions team by 3 points.
It's true. At the same time, name the Browns' weapons. I get
Nick Chubb. You hand the ball off to Nick Chubb 50 times per game.
Nick Chubb had a hell of a game. Nick Chubb had a hell of a game. But you still need to do something in the passing game. And honestly, who you throwing the ball to? Don't say Jarvis Landry.
Oh.
Yeah. Exactly. The Browns have mismanaged what they have in terms of wide receiver talent. They've gotten a bunch of mid-range, late-round talent, and they've signed a bunch of guys who were overrated. Signed trade for. So Jarvis Landry, overrated. Odell Beckham Jr., overrated. It's just
Austin
what it is.
Hooper,
overrated.
But the Browns are very fortunate and lucky they were playing Tim Boyle.
Right. All right, next up, we return to backwards world. The Houston Texans travel to Tennessee.
Nashville, yeah.
Travel to Nashville. Just want to specify that. And beat the Tennessee Titans 22-13. Explain this.
No. I need you to explain this to me because I don't know what in the world happened in this game, and I need you to explain it to me like I'm 5 years old.
I can't tell you what happened here.
I'm pretty sure.
That makes no sense.
I'm pretty sure earlier in the season I said.
Wait. Brandon Cooks had a great game, right? No, he
Who?
didn't.
Who?
Brandon Cooks.
Who?
He had a great game, right? No, he didn't.
Man,
What happened here?
rubbing salt in the wound on that one as we get to our fantasy section soon.
I'm
But
just- you would have expected the
no,
best offensive. I don't know.
nope.
I don't know.
And I feel like I said earlier in the season that if David Culley wins 5 games, he should be coach of the year. He has 2 so far, so he's gonna make me sweat this out.
Ain't he though? Because he got the Jags again at some point.
It was an embarrassing loss for the Titans.
Ain't it,
Absolutely
though?
embarrassing. And at one point, the Texans were up 19-0.
Speaking of embarrassing losses, this one may not be as embarrassing, but it's a loss that shouldn't have happened. The Green Bay Packers go in to Minnesota. I'm sorry, Sean. I know I blindsided you there. And they get beat in a thrilling one by the Minnesota Vikings, 34-31. And I know Aaron Rodgers had a toe injury. But what happened here?
Yeah.
Are they missing Aaron Jones that much?
I'm not even sure if it's Aaron Jones or if it's all the other pieces. They still don't have David Bakhtiari yet, so they're still missing him on the offensive line.
All right.
During this game, they had Elton Jenkins go out, and it sounds like he's going to be done for the season. So that's another quality offensive lineman that they've lost or are losing. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you still are without Darius Smith. You're still without Jair Alexander. I think Rashawn Garrett was injured in this one. Marcellus Whitney was injured before this game.
So there's problems. There's problems. Okay.
It's a war of attrition. Can you keep your players healthy enough, and can you adapt and overcome to it? Because the good teams will adapt and overcome. The 2010 Packers that won the Super Bowl adapted and overcame.
That team was special. They're just... You can't. There's only so much you can overcome. But they were close. They were close. This team will be a problem.
Darnell Savage's interception was overturned on that last possession, which truly turned into a game-changing play. Adam Thielen had a heck of a grab on that final drive, and I don't know what the Packer defense was doing. They gambled, and they lost on it. And that put Minnesota.
They could have covered Justin Jefferson at some point during this game.
What? I mean, normally it's the other teams who pay the price for leaving too much time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers to have a comeback. No. And in this one, it was the exact opposite, because Green Bay scored on their final possession, but they scored too quickly because that final possession for them was a one-play, 75-yard touchdown to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. It didn't take out much time off the clock.
Nice play, though.
It was. They just left too much time. I suppose they didn't expect Minnesota's offense to move downfield like they did. Man, that was a tough loss.
It's a division opponent too. That's what makes it real tough. All right, next up, we got another division game. We got the Dolphins traveling to East Rutherford to face those Jets. That was the Joe Flacco-led Jets. Jets gave them all they could give, but the Dolphins get another win. I guess Brian Flores was sitting there saying, I ain't on no hot seat.
Hey, I got to get off Daddy's hot seat. I can't be on there much longer. He's talking about me for a couple of weeks. I get it.
And that Tua Tagovailoa, he's saying, you know something, stop trying to trade me.
Well, he's safe for another couple of months. I'll give him that. But the Jets, I think, are the team that really can, because it's almost like they have two modes. The first mode is stunning victory, like what they did to the Bengals, like what they did to the Titans. And then they have disasters, which is everything else.
Yeah.
There is no middle ground for New York.
They found a weapon.
They did. It took them too long to find it because Zach Wilson had his eyes only on Corey Davis early in the year. So I'm really glad to see that Elijah Moore has had his coming out party here because he's been looking good these past, 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
All right, next up, we have the Saints traveling to Philly, losing to Philly, 40-29. Now, Philly didn't pass very well, but they didn't have to because Jalen Hurts can scoot.
Another dig. I appreciate that. This was a game where the Eagles just dominated. I know it showed an 11-point differential at the end, but the way the Eagles were playing outside the passing game, they were really just dominating this game, and they picked up their first home victory of the season, so congratulations. Jalen Hurts, as you're saying, didn't have to do much through the air because he ran for 3 touchdowns. And
now, to be fair, I think they do need Devonta Smith, very solid player, very good at what he's doing, but they need someone else. I mean, I know they've got Dallas Goedert. They need someone else. Jalen Reagor ain't it. Quez Watkins ain't it. Just saying, like, this team wants to take that next step. They got to show it.
Now, the good thing for them is that they're looking at 3 first-round draft picks because it looks like Indianapolis is on its way to the playoffs, trending that direction. And Carson Wentz is playing nearly the entire game, every snap. So
it's not the pick they wanted. Let's just be honest.
Right. But that still gives them flexibility of 3 first-round picks. The benefit here is Jalen Hurts has looked better this season than any of the draft eligible quarterbacks.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I think he's proved enough that they don't need to draft a quarterback this year or next year.
I'm going to agree with that, but I'm going to add in because this quarterback class doesn't look as good as we thought it was going to.
But I mean, at the same time, I still think that there's viable options here. It's just, yes, there's no Trevor Lawrence. That if there was like a legit stud at quarterback, first of all, they're not getting them anyway. They're not playing Houston bad enough.
Picking in front of them, yeah.
They're not playing bad enough. Even if Houston wasn't, I mean, I'm so sorry. If you're playing bad enough, you're playing bad enough. Detroit is picking in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, this season we saw 5 quarterbacks go in the top 15. The Eagles are going to have 2 top 15 picks.
But we're going to have a discussion about that sometime soon. All right, moving on from this one. Next up, another NFC East team that's playing better than what people... Well, no. They're playing better than what they were playing earlier. A lot of people thought this team was going to be amazing or good enough. They have not been. The Washington football team went into Carolina, and, they beat the Carolina Panthers. It was a close one. Meh. I mean, Cam's coming into his first start in, like, what? I just
a little bit over a year.
Washington should have won this game.
They should have. Absolutely right. It was the Ron Rivera Bowl, or maybe the Taylor Heineke Bowl.
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, he played in Carolina. Carolina got rid of him. They don't want him.
When was this?
A couple of years.
I have to look this up just to make sure.
Yeah, double check me. But I'm not a big fan of Cam Newton in a starting quarterback role. I know they don't have any better option there, but I know they don't have any better option there, but I'm just not buying on Cam Newton being a playoff caliber quarterback. Maybe he proves me wrong.
Maybe. But at the moment, yeah. He was in let's see, Carolina for 1 year. Guess where he started his career though?
Was it Dallas?
Minnesota.
That's right. That's right.
Interesting. See, shows what I know. All right, moving on. The Washington football team went
We just
to
covered.
Jacksonville.
Yep.
To
San Fran went to Jacksonville. Yeah.
oh no, sorry, San Francisco. I'm off because I just saw a spider on my wall, so I gotta kill that thing.
Burn it down. Burn
The
it
Washington
down.
football team.
Seth Rollins style. Burn it
the
down.
San Francisco 49ers went into Jacksonville and beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 30-10. Sean, I'm gonna let you talk about this where I try to figure out what I got going on over here. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
thing.
You go kill that spider. Yeah.
All right.
San Francisco opens the game up with a methodical and efficient drive that took 13 minutes off the clock. 13 minutes. That is huge. It resulted in only a field goal, but let's be honest, that's really all you need to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars is the field goal. Midway through the second quarter, the 49ers hold a 17-0 lead, and Trevor Lawrence has only been on the field for 4 plays. First possession was a 3-and-out. Second possession was a fumble by Laviska Shenault. This game was well in hand by the start of the second quarter. And I love how San Francisco was using Deebo Samuel as a running back.
San Francisco is having a big come up. They've been starting to figure things out. Maybe Kyle Shanahan was like, "How y'all put me on the hot seat?" Another coach that mad about you putting him on the hot seat. Brian Flores, Kyle Shanahan. All right, next up, we have the Bengals traveling to Las Vegas. Beat down the Raiders. Joe Burrow didn't have to do too much. The Raiders look like, they might come into Dallas and find their groove, but right now they don't look good.
Rich Bisaccia started his interim coaching career off with 2 consecutive victories, I think it was.
Yes, he did.
And they've now dropped 3 in a row, so I don't think that's looking good for him to have a chance or a shot at the full-time gig when it becomes available. We don't even know if Mike Mayock's going to be back as general manager. So there's a lot of question there. The Raiders are not looking good. It was a close game until the fourth quarter when Cincinnati drove down the field and they killed the clock with a 7-minute drive. Get a touchdown, Burrow to chase. Raiders get the ball back. Derek Carr throws an interception, and then right after that, Cincinnati scores. I think it was a 21-yard touchdown by Joe Mixon that really just sealed the game for him. So this was a close game until the fourth quarter.
All right, next up, another game that was actually pretty close. The Arizona Cardinals, led by Colt McCoy, go into Seattle and beat the Seattle Seahawks. You see in this trend here, a lot of these away teams are winning these days. But they go into Seattle, beat the Seahawks 23-13. Now, I know this game was kind of close, but Arizona still looked like they were dominating the game, in my opinion.
If I would have told you before the game that we're going to see a quarterback lead his team to victory, all while displaying great pocket presence and throwing accurate passes, you probably would have thought I was referring to Russell Wilson. But no, this is the upside down and backwards 2021 year where that was actually Colt McCoy and Russell Wilson looked atrocious throwing the ball.
You know who's quietly, there's 2, this is really interesting from Arizona. They made 2 moves for older players who have quietly been really good for them. AJ Green, who's quietly been healthy all year and quietly had been really good. like very solid. And then Zach Ertz, who everybody thought was on his way out and has quietly been really good.
James Conner,
another guy. I mean, this team is going to be a lot better when Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins come back.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great point because the Arizona Cardinals are still 9-2, and they've won 2 of their last 3 games without Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and I think Chase Edmonds for some of that. I'm not sure about all of that.
Yeah, I think with the emergence of James Conner, Chase Edmonds is less important.
Man. And you're thinking Russell Wilson had a whole week of practice too coming into this game, and he still played like that.
Yeah, but the Chiefs, the Seahawks, they got bigger issues than just there's more going on there.
Yeah, Pete Carroll wants to run the ball like 80 times a game. Come on, Pete. You don't even have enough running back to do that, let alone running backs.
Well, from one team that wants to run the ball too much, another team that doesn't run it enough. We're going to the Dallas game, Dallas Cowboys versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know the Chiefs won, but their running offense is not good. Their offense as a whole was not great. They were just lucky that the Cowboys' offense was not great. And I'm going to have to go off for a little bit here because this game here, if you think that I'm crazy for saying that there is a bias in the NFL against the Cowboys in terms of the refs, watch this game and try to tell me this. This is my WTF moment of the week. I don't know if you noticed it or you heard about it, but there was a play where it was on a kickoff. No, it was on a punt, I believe. It was on a punt. So there was a punt. The Dallas cover guy got linked up with one of the KC blocking guys, and he did grab a face mask. DJ Goodwin grabbed, I forgot the KC player's name, grabbed a face mask. Then the KC guy, they were ripping back and forth at each other. The KC guy then went up to the stands or whatever. I mean, his fans is weird, and he did the machine gun thing. He was like net type thing at it. So he got a personal foul for it, right? Because that's taunting. You can't do that. Initially, they did not call the face mask. Guess what happened, Sean?
What's that?
New York chimed in and had them enforce the face mask. New York basically reviewed it and put a penalty in with review. So that happened. That happened. Yet the, let's say, 6 that I could probably count pass interference calls, one that happened on the goal line, they didn't chime in for Dallas for those. Any one of those could have helped the Dallas Cowboys get back into this game and possibly win this game. The Dallas Cowboys were, just like you said with Green Bay on Minnesota, when you said they were already behind the 8 ball, did not have Amari Cooper, did not have Tyron Smith. I mean, Chris Jones was a wrecking crew out there.
He sure was.
And they were still kind of in this game. They didn't have Randy Gregory. Don't have DeMarcus Lawrence back yet. I mean, they were without players. And then CeeDee Lamb didn't play the second half of the game. If his other teammates would have figured out how to catch the ball in the first half, because there was a ton of drops. Don't get me wrong, the Cowboys were off, but CeeDee Lamb plays in that second half. Number one, I think that's a different game because there was a lot of other guys getting open there. And if the refs call this game straight, this is a different game. Now, no, I'm not taking away from the Chiefs. They won this game. But they didn't handle the Cowboys as badly as people might think, or how they should have, considering the issues that the Cowboys had. Do you have any thoughts?
I have some thoughts, but my thoughts are going to center around the Chiefs. The past couple of weeks, we've heard a lot of people saying the Chiefs are back. The Chiefs are back.
They look back to you?
I'm I'm not quite ready to jump on that bandwagon yet because I look at the last 4 games. They squeaked out a 3-point win against the Giants. They beat an Aaron Rodgers-less Packers team 13-7. They defeated a reeling Raiders team who became fatigued by off-field issues.
And that was their only good-looking offensive output was the Raiders.
That was a 41-14 win. And then they came away with a 19-9 victory over a depleted Cowboys team. So yes,
with some home cooking.
The Chiefs are looking better on offense and defense. But to me, they do not look division winning good.
They're still not the best team in the division, in my opinion. There's a different team that I know the Cowboys did beat that I think is better.
They may end up winning the division, but if they do so, they have to be very thankful for this stretch of games where they caught all the lucky breaks. They have their bye coming up, but then after that, they have 4 division games in the last part of their schedule. Those are going to be huge.
Next up, that team that I was just talking about, the LA Chargers hosted the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know something? The Pittsburgh Steelers made a push. It was looking like they might have pulled this one out. And the Chargers was like, not today. And the Chargers, I mean, this was a game. This game was like, I mean, this is what you want as a game.
I think this might have been game of the week. This was such an exciting game, and we almost saw an epic collapse in the fourth quarter by
27 points.
Man, Justin Herbert took advantage of Pittsburgh's injury-depleted secondary when he was able to nail Mike Williams on a 53-yard touchdown that sealed the game. But Herbert did a lot of damage on the ground, too, with his legs. So he was looking good out there. The defense should never have given up all those points. But the Steelers started out in good field position on a couple of those possessions, which made it really hard to stop them from putting points on the board. But I do have a WTF moment for this game.
Ooh.
Cam Hayward on Justin Herbert. Have you seen that? Where it looks like Cam Hayward's, falling down and throwing a punch on Justin Herbert.
Pulling a LeBron?
What? People are saying, oh, he was tired. He lost his balance. He was falling down. I'm like, no, you better look at his right arm, his right hand. That thing is in a punching motion. It's almost like LeBron throwing a punch at someone's face. So that was pretty bogus. I thought that was bogus. You knew there were cameras watching you. The referees were watching you. I'm very surprised he wasn't ejected from that game. It looked intentional to me, but I'm just a viewer.
You do know. And I mean, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but Pittsburgh is the lowest penalized team in the league for like the last 20 years.
Rooney must be in some pockets. I don't know.
All right, moving on from this one. We're going to go to that Monday night game. The Giants went into Tampa. And, they're the Giants. They got beat 30-10. The Tampa was so in control. I don't even think Brady played much of the fourth quarter.
Sure didn't. I mean, was Tom Brady really going to allow the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to lose a third straight game?
No. But by the way, Daniel Jones. Remember how people were like, stop ganging on Daniel Jones. All the Giant fans are going out there. All the analysts were coming out there. Stop getting on Daniel Jones. He's been turnover free. Well, in this game, he looked like old Daniel Jones. Like the interception to Shea McClendon. What was that?
I don't know. Maybe a poor play call was the reason that Chase and Garrett ended up getting fired. I don't know.
Or maybe Jason Garrett got fired because the game has passed him by and he's doing 1980s, 1990s football instead of, 2021.
Hey,
Actually, somebody online explained this properly. Jason Garrett coaches like a backup quarterback. And what you mean by that is, what is a backup quarterback's purpose, Sean?
come in, manage the game, limit risks, just get through. Just get through.
Jason Garrett's coaching like that. He's coaching not
through.
to lose.
Yep.
He's not coaching to win. He's coaching not to lose, to limit mistakes and not to lose. And with that, when you coach like that, you lose a lot of the time. And when you've got a guy like Daniel Jones, we knew it was coming. I know a lot of people wanted to believe, but we knew this was coming. He is a turnover machine.
They drew up the trick play that got Andrew Thomas the goal line touchdown catch. They drew that up, which was nice. But
we almost got hit on that one.
But fun fact, Andrew Thomas now has more receiving touchdowns on the season than your $72 million wide receiver, Kenny Galladay. So,
I know that's a bitter taste for your
that
mouth.
says a lot. Yeah. Another jab at fantasy. Jason Garrett's gone as offensive coordinator. You have really three people left. You have Dave Gettleman, you have Joe Judge, and you have Daniel Jones. How many of these guys are going to be back with the organization next year?
Honestly, one should be.
You're thinking
Should
Daniel
only
Jones?
Daniel Jones.
Yep.
Because do you really? At the same time, if it's me, I'm clearing the board. Here's the thing. I'll let Daniel Jones still be there, but I'm drafting a quarterback and having them battle it out. Personally.
Depending on where they pick, yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Words of wisdom, Sean.
Ooh, words of wisdom this week. I'm going to say, know your limits, know when to quit. I've been learning how to skateboard, right?
Yep.
All right, so
You've
yesterday.
been trying to kill yourself, yeah?
Almost yesterday. So yesterday at a skate park, I'm going up a quarter pipe. And
You actually at a skate park.
Skate park it's an area for skateboarders. It's small,
foolish man.
size of like a basketball court, a couple of half pipes and quarter pipes.
I'm with your mother on this one.
Yeah. She should hear this by the time we have Thanksgiving dinner. So this should be fun. So anyways, I'm going up a quarter pipe, and the idea is go up a quarter pipe and then level out onto
She
the
might not know what a
flat
quarter pipe
surface,
is.
which is better for me, much better for me. So I get some momentum, I get some speed. I'm going up this quarter pipe. I'm feeling good. I'm like, yes, I'm higher up this than I was before. This is good. And then no idea what happened. Balance is lost, and I just slam on my back. My ribs are vibrating with pain. My teeth are rattling. The air escapes my lungs. I'm pretty sure my soul left my body for a few moments. My life flashed in front of my eyes. So
I know what happened.
all that to say, today I went to a different skate park for lunch.
I know what happened.
Know your
I know
limit.
exactly what happened.
What happened?
You're closer to 40 than not.
Yeah.
And your name's not Tony Hawk.
No. I'm far more coordinated and unbalanced than people think. So it's a good combination for me.
All right, my words of wisdom are NFL related, but life related. Never, ever, by any circumstance, trust an NFL referee.